WesWes Show.
All right, we're back with episode 102 of the EOTC, the Empty Out the Clip podcast. My name is Cams, and I'm with the brothers here in the house. Yush, what's up, man?
What's up, yo? Good to be back after a week off with the gastro bug last week. So, sorry, fans, but that's just the truth. Yeah. But good to be back.
It's good to see you back, cuz.
Good to see you back, man. And we've got the man of the hour, Lady Smith. What's up, brother?
What's up, Boost? What's up? It's good to be back in the studio, man. It's been a minute.
All right, boys, some shout-outs.
I'll go first. First on my shout-outs is a massive congratulations to also Roger for le toile man. Toilau from the Counteract and WesWes Network podcast as well. The boys, the Premier Development, you would have heard me talk about a couple of weeks ago, man. They showed up at the final at home. And yeah, man, one got the biggest stub of the year, right? I think 3 weeks ago, I went and picked up a hoodie from Daryl. And there's the Tonga Polar Bear, he was saying that they lost to Grammar Tech. One of those shock losses of the season. But yeah, shout out to him, Rocky, Nonu, Vice and the boys, and to the captain, Ben. Congratulations on the win over the Rovers, Prem Development. And also to the other KOB brothers, one straight up for the Manukau Rovers Prems team, Fred Tavita, Xavier Tiro Harris, and the Us Faletoi Benny. Playing one position out this season. He played a second five. Fans, he scored the winning try against Varsity yesterday. If you would have seen the final from last year against Ponsonby on the number one, live on Sky, this guy kicked the penalty from 38 meters upwind. Sunk it, bro. He's got ice in his veins, man. So it was just good to see that the boys are still carrying their talent over to club rugby. He was part of the Moana Pacifica extended squad. Hasn't played any minutes, but yeah, alongside him and Nico, they pretty much the youngest guys of that squad. So Silal Mapusua, if you're listening, bro, if you need a guy who can cover second five and first five, bro, he's the man at the moment. I don't think anyone else has done what he's done in the last 3 years that he's played. He's won championships.
Oh, he's a winner.
So he's clutch player, man. So he had one championship with Waiku, one with Rovers last year, and he kicked the final points. And that was pretty much the game-breaking try. Yesterday he scored.
Yeah.
And he played out of position. So congratulations to the Manukau Rovers and the KOB boys flexing yesterday. And then I've got condolences to the cousin Marissa, Mate Kainga Hano no, for the passing of her husband, father of South Auckland hip-hop, the very own Otara Millionaires Club member Herman Lotto, aka Erman. So he passed away earlier this week. Thoughts and prayers to you guys and to our boy Rhyme. I know you're going for a tough time, but you were thinking of you guys and our prayers and thoughts with you all. And also to my brother Vin McClafferty from the Mortgage Hub. Appreciate the messages also. So anyone needs first home advice and mortgage advice, hit up the boys Mills and Vin. Another one's to my Rory. The bro's been coming to the Barbers for the last 12 years. He's finally decided to pack up and leave and go to Australia. The last 12 years, man, it's quite a sad feat, knowing that someone's gone from a teen. Now he's like a young man, he's finally left. He actually ripped his first LP last year, and dropped some nice music for Music Month last year. Wishing you all the best, bro. And to my also Miki Lahi, thanks for the early morning calls, the video calls, the 4-hour ones. To the bro, Dion Briggs, his son Josiah, he's gone over to us to chase the rugby league football dream over at the Raiders. Wishing you well, Neff. Man, it's been a minute since I've seen you. Boys jump school to school. Gonna chase the All-Stars dream. So shout out to his mum Pule and Nani, raising a polite boy like that, it all starts at home. And to my brother Filippo, my deaf bro, he turned 51 during the week. Can't wait to spend your inheritance money when it comes through. And also another shout out to the Richmond Rovers, our family rugby league club, celebrating 110 years this season. And to Uncle Olanga, aka the toe, the first Tokalon to ever lace the boots up at the club as a 19-year-old. He's probably one of the OGs from Greyland. That's 51 years ago. To the Us Onosai, another barber fams of mine. He's expecting his firstborn in the next 24 to 48 hours. Sending my love out to you and your wife Bex. To the Dino and the Bill and Sister Amy, Alafao, the Polynesian Travels, massive shout out to them for their part on the back of the 135 with the Oos Cams here. That was a solid 4 hours, eh? And mate, I tell you, I listened. It took the whole week, but I just got through it, and man, really inspired from that one. And
Thank you.
And the last shout out is to one of Kita's close friends, to Letele Manuola Lavea. She turned 21 yesterday. We shout out at her 21st on Friday night. Beautiful occasion, man. When you got family that's in the radio industry and musically talented, you know you're in for a good night. So shout out to DJ Dave and to the the radio, the voice of Radio Samoa, to Savelle. So, massive happy 21st to you, Tele, man. There's one thing to be embedded with your anganuu, but to be surrounded by it, especially in Mangere, was bloody awesome. So you had an awesome night, and yeah, good luck to you girls. Hopefully you pull through with the dub against Northland today. Can't wait to watch the rest of it when I get home. But yeah, there's my long list of shouts.
Woo! Damn, that is shout outs, man. Yeah, that's what we do. How we do in EOTC.
It's like a DJ.
I love it. Yush, bro.
I just got the one shout out to the Avondale First 15 boys. They had a win over top of the table Howard College. So JB, Dom, E-Man.
Oh, nice.
Greg and all the boys. So it's good, man. They've had a couple of close losses this year, but they've had a lot of big wins. So it's pretty big, just only having one win last year. It's a big turnaround. And so just shout out to the boys getting the dub over top of the table in the championship round too. So.
Nice. That's good effort. That reminds me of because on the chat in the rugby chat, I think the message came out that there was another upset in 1A comp. Liston, they beat Kings in the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
By a couple of points or 1 point or something.
So Liston on a bit of a come up, eh?
Yeah, 2 upsets this year. One against Calston and this one against Kings.
Bit of belief.
Nice.
Okay, I just want to shout out to all the WesWes Network listeners out there and everyone that's tuned into all our podcasts, especially with our sports ones that are just ramping up at the moment with the Counter Ruck and the 135 Footy Show. I know Stace hasn't been on the Counter Ruck for a while because the Super Rugby hasn't been that good lately, but since internationals have started, All Blacks are in. You know, it's been ramping up, and the World Cup's coming up in September. So I know Stace will be out there with a few episodes on the Counter Ruck. And also shout out to Tana as well on the 135 Footy Show. He's been doing it for every week, talking about the latest and greatest news at the NRL and Rugby League and all the games. So shout out to those guys and everybody. You guys can tune into the Empty Out the Clip Facebook group page. It's a private page, so if you guys sign up, answer the 3 questions, security will let you in, and it's a chance for you to drop in your 5 cents on the page and make a comment or make a post, and we can talk about it on the podcast. Sweet boys. But before we get into the big story of the day, or the week actually, let's just go around and just touch on how's your week. I know you, Yush, you've been a bit under the weather, but besides that, how's your week been?
I was good. I got the bug off my kids. I was cleaning like their spew and stuff like that. So I think I caught it on the Saturday night. I was feeling good all Saturday. Then Saturday night, woke up and I was like, I told my wife I wasn't feeling good, so missed church. So I just slept. I was trying to get ready for Empty Out the Clip. I was like, just let me rest. But I woke up like around 1 and I was still off. So I had to pull the pin and. Because I wanted to keep the momentum going because I had a couple in a row and I was like, I got to keep it going, keep the momentum. But all good. Back this week and then started my first week at Henderson Intermediate.
How was that?
It was mean. It was everybody's welcoming in there. It's cool working with Suli in this class, and they got some good stuff going on there. Man, I love it, because we got you get the free lunch as well.
Oh, you get some of it too.
Yeah, they have stuff for like everyone, the teachers and the kids, and there's usually like a few left over. Like some kids are away, or I think they always stock like more than less, Yeah. And then so that's pretty mean, like these kids complain about it, but when you come from having no lunch, man, like this is gold. This is gold. So I love that. And I just got some really good processes and stuff there. Like they didn't have phones in the class. Mm-hmm. It's just really well done. Like with the like even with if they jump on their Chromebooks, like the teacher can check like what they're on, close things, and just like little things like that. Like so I think it's really well thought out, and
Yeah.
they're pretty onto it. Like they're ahead of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Like forward thinking and trying to think of ways they can always keep improving. So, no, I really enjoyed it. I said, first week there, and it was good. Like Tony's there as well, Sully, Mary. So I really knew a few people there, and ended up going to the zoo like on a trip. I just got to school. He's like, "Oh, you're not going to class today again on a trip?" I was like, "Oh, yo, sweet." So then, looking after them, but that was funny. Yeah, this kid, like, he's like, the Good Dinosaur? Have you seen that cartoon?
No.
Oh, there's like a little caveman boy, but he was brought up by the animals. And so he's like wild like an animal, but he's a boy. He thinks he's an animal. And it's like this kid was sort of like that, like running around. So I was sort of looking after this kid like that. But, that was funny, but
Be careful, man. Like he didn't take you to the chimpanzees and go tell them to attack you. They native animal tongue.
well, I like the zoo, man. I love the orangutans, They're majestic animals, man. They're like the leader, They're quiet.
Yeah.
They're quiet. They don't really say much, but they sort of call the shots.
Yeah, it's crazy how they sit behind and just observe.
Yeah.
There, you don't know what they're doing. They're probably going, "I'll eat that guy first. Take this guy, take him on the back."
But if you make eye contact with like an orangutan or something, man, it's so scary.
Yeah.
But now it's a good week, and then we trained your daughter, so that was good. Yeah, this like sort of feels like the start of what I wanted to do for a while, just training like athletes or people trying to come back from injury or that type of thing. So yeah, I'm excited to work for her, and then also keep building like with other athletes. Just sort of let it happen organically and not going to force it. You know what I mean? And then that sort of happened organically as well. So yeah, it's been a good week. Yeah.
Nice. How about you, Let's?
Oh, week was good, bro. It was like flipping cold. Man, I think last night I must have felt the gout coming in my knee, but I think that's from the 21st. So one of Kita's best mates turned 21 on Friday night, and we were out in Mangere. But yeah, it was cold, man. It's like, it's cold, like if you're in a hoodie and t-shirt and singlet and like running pants, like in your jeans. It's like, is that me or the door's just wide open and it's real cold? Because even just getting in the car, bro, it's like, I remember taking my kids up to the snow and seeing the kids run to the car. But I was like, just from the hall to the car, the kids are running. I'm like, what are you doing? It's not that cold. But in my head, I'm like, bro, it's cold, eh? Apart from fighting the cold, week's been real good. Said to Fia, one of the boys from work as well. Climbed pretty quickly up the ladder at work. But he's just said that he's chucked it in because he's just over the hours. You know how some people come to your space and like they're there 4 seasons.
Yeah.
But this guy just too young to be tied down to a job. 60 plus hours. You can be on good money, but that shows that when you get there, the grass is the best on that side. So he's pretty much just left and he's not even working. He doesn't even have a plan. So
Yeah.
which is doing well, but it was just good to try and say to him, bro, you're seeing the light, the way it should be, man. Just do something that makes you happy and don't worry about money and corporations trying to control your life, which is really good. Apart from that, it's been same old, man. Been trying to catch up on the sport from the highlights from last week. Yeah, so the AB's been playing, so sweet, I can catch up.
Yeah. It's hard, There's always new games and stuff like that. Yeah.
But how's your week been?
Yeah, it's been busy. Yeah, I mean, really busy. I mean, for the last holiday we had last weekend, we took Friday off. Public holiday was Matariki. Like I took the Monday off so I can have a 4-day weekend. But we were so busy at work, I had to cancel that Monday and go to work. So I had a deadline on Tuesday, so I needed Monday to finish up and Tuesday to finish. Then I was free like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I had the option to move that holiday. But then I thought, I'll just save it. Can't be bothered. I was like, just
Well,
take
remember,
it.
Matariki's the whole month up.
Yeah.
As he picked the days.
Yeah, man, just busy at work, man, and coming home and doing the podcast stuff, just same as usual. So, man, I was been busy. And I remember was it Thursday? It was Thursday when the shooting happened. Was it Thursday? Oh no, it was Thursday or Wednesday. It was one of the days, man. I was driving to work, right? It was like it was about 7:45. man, I was just all these police cars just on the road. I was thinking, man, what's going on? Was there a crash? And I was thinking, man, when I'm stuck in traffic for ages, going to the crash. But then I see 2 more police cars, going past, and I never saw any crash. I was thinking, oh, that's weird. Got to work and then just saw the Herald online what was happening downtown, and I was thinking, damn, yeah, man. So, which brings us to our first topic of the podcast, the Auckland shootings. So I was kind of shocked that it happened, and I was thinking about the Christchurch happening in Christchurch. I thought it was the same kind of thing, but then because at the time when I saw the paper, they said, "Oh, shots have been fired. Possibly multiple people have died downtown on the construction site." I was going, "What the hell?" But man, so anyway, so 3 people. I was only 3 people that got killed, including the gunman. 6 people were injured, including 1 police officer. The shooter, age 24, he's young, young guy. He actually worked there. And he was actually fired the day before. So he got fired. Was a disgruntled worker and came back with a gun, the pump action, started his thing and killed 2 of his workmates. Yeah, he had an ankle bracelet. So I think part of his thing was he was on home detention, but he had an exemption to go to work. Yeah. So I guess they had to deem him okay to go to work,
Because he was on their work, what's it called? Those ones where home detention was on,
Yeah, he had an ankle bracelet.
Yeah.
So I think part of his thing was he was on home detention, but he had an exemption to go to work.
Yeah.
So I guess they had to deem him okay to go to work,
Yeah, I guess they're trying to get him back into society, and make some money and contribute.
Yeah, so he did not have a fire license for the shotgun that he had, but he did have mental health history.
Said he choked a lady or something,
Yeah, he was
Domestics.
He had domestic violence charges on him, Yeah, so which led to his ankle bracelet, his home D.
What's your take on all those, bro? I dug deep, I tell you, man, I never really studied for these episodes, and I do, just a brief. Yeah, man, I thought it was shocking, I think 3 news stations were going live, to Our Online, the News Hub, and then TV1. So whatever was printed in the paper wasn't probably accurate enough. But I saw 3 things that disturbed me before I made judgment and then dug a bit deeper and thought about it. The second I heard it was a construction site, the first thing that came to mind was the culture of banter on construction sites. And I swear, man, you can bring probably 3 or 4 different tradies in here and listen to them talk about something stupid and see how that goes. And I think if you're someone who suffers from mental health, how that comes across and how you react would be a real big okay, I don't understand, the color of things is sort of really thrown off. And it's funny that in the workplace at work, when we were watching this live on TV, one of the boys said, "Oh, that guy was mad because he didn't get a pay rise, man, and he's just pissed off. Went and got his uncle's shotgun." We don't know what happened in the conversations, but it's almost like if he was working in that environment and they knew, what's the chances of one of those guys that got shot would have said something like, "This guy's weak. What shotgun? That's why you got that bracelet on your foot." It could have been something as small as that. But if you know construction sites, man, and the way they banter, it ain't normal banter. It's the sort of shit that makes you want to get sacked. Give him a reason to get sacked, But the fact that he was on house arrest, and I remember listening to the commissioner talk about the courts would have weighted up how this guy would have reacted in a public setting, and then taken all his previous sort of things, not sort of stopping him from going out to sort of just live, But if he had an ankle bracelet, the thing that surprised me is if he didn't show up for work, wouldn't work have rung the police that he was no longer employed, and in that space of time, he managed to still leave in the morning. You know what I mean? Because I would have thought if his conditions was to go to work, okay, the supervisor will check in with his corrections officer or whoever's got him on house arrest to say that he's no longer with us. But he managed to make it down to the worksite the next day with his gun.
Aren't you still free? It's just you're expected to stay home, but they're not. He's not locked up. Do you know what I mean? Like he can still get out and about. Is that right?
Yeah. So, but there would have been conditions with it.
Yeah.
To leave, because if you're on house arrest, there's still terms to what you can do and what you can't.
But it's just paper, like they're not physically.
But but this sort of shows like there's a hole in how they've done it.
Yeah.
Like I think the sister-in-law said, if he was locked up, this wouldn't have happened. But I just feel like the culture on those job sites would have pushed them to do something like that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have just been, we want to let you go, man. There's not enough work. It would have been something along the lines of the banter and all the bullshit that this poor dude who's obviously suffering like mentally, like he wouldn't have been stable, but to push him off the edge to be like, oh fuck, we'll see, check. Yeah, vai lá guy out, then I'll come with my shotgun and shoot all your fellas' asses. These guys would have laughed that off. Like they would have cracked up.
I heard that he was bullied, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's interpretation of bullying is different, eh?
Yeah.
Just like someone, a few jokes about you, maybe to some classified as bullying, but like, I did some laboring early on in my life, and like, I was told, you're going to work with this old fella, just follow his lead. And he didn't bully me, but like, I tried to make small talk with him and didn't want to talk to me. Just pretty much just said what to do and that, and then he would go have a ciggy on the side, and he would only talk to the other old fellas. But pretty much he always looked at me like in disgust a little bit, like you're just a young cunt.
And that's
but I didn't care.
That's culture, bro. But that's the
But I didn't care.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's just the old guys.
Even if you were to laugh and he goes, what's so funny, man?
Yeah.
Just fucking do some work.
Yeah.
But that's the way they are on websites. It's like, oh fuck. Like I watched a TikTok and the guy was pretending to cry and he's recording. And then the supervisor comes around with a pen and goes, what the fuck are you doing, man? You want me to get a dildo and fuck myself as well? Fuck. But he's like so mad. It's like, if you're like someone out of prison and like maybe that's your first time on a job site, of course you're going to be like, what the fuck? What did I do? I think that guy's a dickhead, Fuck, you'll see how tough he is tomorrow when I come with a shotgun.
So you reckon it was more the system, like he just wasn't ready?
Nah, I think it's the culture on the job site. It would have had to be like real toxic for him, or maybe because he didn't understand it. But I just saw the loop. There's obviously holes in the way they let people go out and work from corrections and the police. Because if he was going to work and then all of a sudden he, like, say for example, he got sacked. So it was like 2 days before, but then he still managed to get down there. Why didn't corrections know that he was no longer employed? Because the employment would have had to ring corrections and tell them, oh, hold up, he doesn't work for us anymore. They probably would have had a guard sitting outside the house. Okay, monitoring. He can't leave his house, or conditions, or he's had an incident at work. Anything that has an incident on the work site and you're in an ankle bracelet, that needs to get kicked up to someone. Like if he got, like just the fact that he got the sack, okay, they should have sent an email to.
I mean, that's
comms.
a red flag.
Yeah,
right
like
there.
that's a red flag. Like others should have got a comms saying, "Oh, hey, we got so and so. He's no longer part of the business anymore. This is just a heads up. Sweet." They'll go to a case manager. Case manager will then alert the police. Hey, this guy doesn't work there anymore. So what happened? They're trying to. The police at the moment are just throwing accusations like, "Oh, yeah, he was getting bullied, or he was mentally unwell." But fuck, that ain't never reason why their system didn't work.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know the guys, but I can't really imagine like too much. They maybe made jokes of him a few times and all that, but like for me, it's sort of like that's normal.
But remember, he's 24 years old.
Yeah. 24.
He's 24 years old.
Yeah, so that's my thought is
Yeah.
that like people they don't have the resilience, like they're just soft. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna get a little bit of that wherever you go. Like,
but the poor. I feel sorry for the families of those specific dudes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sure they weren't like that bad.
Because he killed them, right? And one of them was 40 years old, the other one was 44 years old. So, they've got their own, like you said, that culture in the work site. If that it's the culture where they mock you, they tell stories, but if you're not doing your work, they'll let you know.
Yeah.
And if this guy is 24, he's coming in, he's not doing his job, he's angry all the time. you know, he can't take the banter because he doesn't understand, and then he gets maybe he got triggered in some way. Oh.
Yeah, possibly, man. And yeah, it's sad that, you know, those family members aren't, you know, they're no longer returning home. Like, you don't get a work to not return back home. But one other thing I found shocking was like, man, I know guys, I went to school with some guys, right? They just become police officers. And then breaking news, say, oh, you see one of them who was just at the police college like maybe 3 weeks ago, running around with a bloody gun. It's like in my head, I'm like, really? I was like, shit, I'm not going to drop his name. But when I saw it, I'm like, wow, you're going to go put yourself in front of harm's way with your half vest is not even covering your full body. But I mean, that's what the New Zealand police is at. It's like, bro, these guys were just at the police college like less than a month ago, running around with a bloody gun. Surely they're not on Call of Duty like for 48 hours straight, man. Like, that was another red flag for me.
Yeah, I think all the coddling of society these days it's just going to lead into more of people, you know, getting angry about little things, about nothing, and just so you really got to be careful of like what you say, and you know, keep an eye on what's happening in the room and all that sort of stuff, because jokes that or the way you treat people in the past maybe would have gotten by, you know. But now you really got to be careful what you say, and that you might say something and then, you know, they come with their brothers and stuff like that. Hey, you know, that type of thing. You just don't know, so you really got to be careful. Eh?
I know this much. I know one of the boys at work said he bumped into the dude during the week, bro, and he was tagging. He was tagging on a fence or some shit, and he was like trying to do this. Hey, what are you doing? See what, you know, what his reaction was. The guy just looked at him and just carried on. And he asked him his name. He said his name. And the brother was like, oh, didn't know that was your name?
Yeah.
But even that, like, that South Auckland mentality is different from the West Auckland mentality. The jokes you get thrown around, you know, out west there might be a joke where you can go below the belt. In South Auckland there might be a threat. Hey, you see if that's still funny tomorrow when I show up with a gun. Yeah. You know, that could have been thrown off like that as well.
Yeah, you got to be careful because I remember, like you said, it's the culture, west, south, whatever, wherever you are. Because I remember playing footy, we played Parramatta, and they're swearing at each other like to do their job, and they're all good.
Yeah.
You do that over in here, someone's going to get punched you in the face, you know, type of thing. So even though they don't mean to, like, it's more like just do your job. That's where it's sort of coming from, like, or try harder or whatever it is. You got to be careful. You can't just swear at people like that type of thing. You have to use different language, eh?
But I just thought, like, you know, just the first 3 haircuts that I had yesterday, and everyone's sort of like, but you know, I was like, fuck. So it's obviously known. Like, that's how they talk. That's how they are on job sites. But it's usually the person who takes the brunt of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was the victim of, that's why you're kaya, that's why you're still that's why you're not on the tools yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, you know, it can be like something seems to be so small.
Just clean up the rubbish, man.
Yeah, but why are you doing that? Go wash my car. You know, fuck, this guy would have been like, fuck, I'll fucking shoot you dead in your car, cunt. You see who's laughing tomorrow morning when I show up with my gun. Like, oh, here we go. You know?
So Stuff New Zealand put out an article about some details around the shooter. So his name is Matutangi Matua Reid. He's 24 years old. He got done for domestic violence, beating up his girlfriend. Sentenced 5 months home detention in 2021. He was living with his girlfriend at the time.
If he beat up his girlfriend, he's obviously got problems, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So in his cultural report, he had evidence of systemic deprivation in his background, a disconnection from his culture, a history of family instability and hardship, has been exposed to domestic violence as a kid and abuse as a kid, and he ran away from home at an early age. He also has mental health issues.
And this is a paper article listing all the things that all the other networks we're missing, you know? Like, one would say one thing, oh, this guy is obviously, he was obviously triggered from some workplace bullying. You know, someone was saying, oh, you know, they didn't know the finer details, but he was obviously pissed off at one of his employers or his employees, you know? It's like, what the hell?
So there
were
are
just chucking accusations around to be at the start of it.
I remember the day when I heard the news, it was just new, so there was bits and pieces just coming through. You wouldn't be able to get every single detail until the end of the day, or even the next day. But he managed to kill 2 people. Then the bottom floor, he went up the stairs with his gun and just threatened to kill people. The police showed up, and they mentioned that the police showed up real quick.
Yeah.
Because
So they had the cop who got shot. He got shot in the face. I think he was obviously close enough to be talking to the guy before he obviously pushed the lift. Then he was up in the lift. But yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah,
But there were questions about if he killed himself or the cops thought, because
they haven't actually said, eh?
no. But
I've read something, but I don't know if it was accurate. But that he got shot like because he was trying to fight back, type of thing.
yeah.
I
But I don't know how accurate that is.
It sounds like to me he barricaded himself in that lift shaft. The cops were surrounding him, and he fired at the cops, hit one of the cops, and the cops all fired back, and
Yeah,
he
something
died.
like that.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I read. Yeah,
Mm.
but it's just sad. It's sad, man. So sad.
Yeah, very hard out.
But I was feeling like real, just anxious about imagining if I was on that construction site, because I saw if you saw the videos, because people in the offices around the building were just taking photos, taking videos of what they could see, and man, the image of the construction workers hiding behind like concrete or materials at the top floor,
Yeah.
just staying put, man, that would have been real scary.
It was a lot of these photos that came out, it almost made you wonder, like, shit, are they where the shooters? Are these from the shooters' point of view? But then when they showed, actually he was in the same building, so he would have went up to them point blank and shot them, like, with the intent that, bro, no one's going home today.
But yeah, I get annoyed there because the people use the mental health thing too much excuse. Like, it mentioned off a few things, something about his family, disengaged or something, and domestic violence and stuff. I was like, but like everybody, most people I know, they had like, there's been divorced in their families, or they used to get hidings. Like, it's all like, it's not good things, but it's everyone's has trauma or has these things. You've got to be tougher, man. Like, I know there's a real thing like mental health. Like, my mom has schizophrenia. Like, that's real. But like, some of it's just you got to. It's soft, man. People got to toughen up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, life is hard.
Yeah.
You got to find the way through. That, you know what I mean? Some of the stuff, and they're mental health. So I don't know, make up bullshit stuff to get away with things. Like, I just think sometimes life is tough, and you've got to deal with it. Like, everybody you talk to, they've got a story. Everybody's got something they've experienced or went through that wasn't fair or whatever. Like, yeah. So I'm not trying to talk that down. That it's real but everybody's got their thing, man. Don't use that as your crutch to, be a piece of shit. And
But I believe that. I believe that. I believe what you said, but I also believe that some people slip through the cracks. Some people can't handle, and you end up being like this dude, and going on the rampage on the 7 o'clock in the
you're right,
on a Thursday morning, and like, but yeah, it's I think when society blames it on one guy and they don't look at the reasons why,
surrounding causes,
it's heaps of factors. Go in and look at all these factors. It's poverty. I just read that thing about him talking about how he was victim of domestic violence when he was a kid, abuse and all that. Like, no kid should be exposed to sexual abuse or violent abuse if you're 5 years old or 10 years old and your parents are not around. If that's the cause of these people growing up to be murderers or mental health, and then obviously the answer is to try and stop that, or try and bring those kind of statistics down. I think when people just see this guy as, he's moldy because of his name, it's that. Let's just brush that out of the carpet because it is what it is. No, let's look at the whole problem as a whole and try to fix that. I'm not saying like it was meant to be. I'm just saying it's a bigger problem if you go deep into it. It's just a sad result of a bigger problem.
Yeah, it sounds like he wasn't ready, to be back into.
Yeah.
Integrated back into.
Clearly, I think you would have thought like they would have had like some sort of stress tests. Or putting him in a social setting.
Yeah.
Where he would have been like, hey, you just here to work, man. But then even that can be too much for someone who's come back, He's had all these charges laid against him. Like, sometimes that's a bit too much.
Probably a couple of steps back,
Yeah, like, warehousing would have been better for him. Picking, but not bloody the construction site. Like, that's just asking to wait. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get my gun. Because probably you can guarantee they wouldn't have you know, if he was like, I'm not like, you know, I don't know what was happening on that job site, but like 9 out of 10, bro, they would have been bloody taking the piss out of this dude.
It's interesting when you said like some people, what did you say? Some of the people like slip through the cracks or they're not cut out. You know, which, sorry to bring up a movie, but you know, the Arnold movie, and he talked about him and his brother because, you know, they used to get hidings from their dads. They were like dirt poor. And then he says,
right.
and he mentions his brother. He goes, my brother just wasn't cut out for it. He just didn't have it for some reason. And even though they had the same upbringing, for whatever reason, his brother just couldn't handle it.
Because he committed suicide, his brother.
Yeah. And he struggled with the upbringing and coming out of it, whereas Arnold, you know, would always try to find a way, and he was just more. So it's interesting, eh?
Like he used it as motivation.
Yeah,
Arnold,
yeah. Whereas other brothers sort of
yeah.
felt sorry for himself, you know, that type of thing. You know what I mean? And it's the same upbringing. You know, they're getting hidings, they're both poor and everything. But yeah, I agree. Some people just they don't have the makeup. They just choose to not see the light for whatever reason.
And they don't even know what their reason is, eh? Like they can't even pinpoint it. Like I think with people like this dude, right? I think, and it happens all the time with people that have bad childhood. Like it depends how bad the childhood is. Like we did the movie review of Once Were Warriors, and you know we touched on that kind of family environment. You know, but it might be even worse than that. Hey, like you don't have to have a dad like Jake the Muss. You know, it can be even worse. And you know we don't know what worse is until we hear it. But I'm sure it's out there, and I'm sure this dude got that like 10 times as worse when he was a kid. To make him do this or make him be in the state where he can just snap, you know, just like that. And I think there's things that happen that people like Arnold and Arnold's brother that you can handle or you don't handle it, you know. And I think everybody has their breaking point too. And it depends where your breaking point is. You know, some people can be stronger, some people can be weaker, and some people can break harder, some people can break lighter. You know, but if you're continually broken as a young kid, like from birth to teenager, you know, you know nothing else. I think you know nothing else. You don't even know what is good. You don't even know how to be good because all you see is bad, like your whole life. Like you don't know anything about love or something like that because your parents never showed you that. And I believe like there are situations like that out there, and people have their breaking points, but sometimes people don't have a chance to get mended because they're just broke as soon as they're born. You know, so yeah, it's a sad situation.
It's a tough one, though. Like hearing the police commissioner talk about like he's obviously been brought up from a family of, you know, of violence when he was growing up, like it was a disease almost. To me, I feel like, man, well, say for example, his dad said to him, "Don't ever let anyone pick on you," as an example. And yeah, he had like a good upbringing. Like, if he's been in and out of the system, yeah, you should you're gonna feel a certain way. Like if he was in jail, that maybe mentality carried him, you know, inside the cells. So when he got out, and he just didn't know how to fit back into society, sort of thing. Like didn't know how to take that sort of filter off. And then he's just obviously taking it in his own hands and be like, "You still have that gun? I just gotta go check these guys out." But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's too much to unpack to sort of be. Yeah. It's this one particular thing, eh?
Yeah.
But man, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and all we can do is give love to the families of those that passed there. Like, man, it's so sad. It's so sad to like, you know, you don't even think about it, eh? Just I'm going to work like a normal day, and then you don't even come home. Yeah. What the hell is that? I mean, what the hell is that? Like, the kids like, bye dad, going to work, I'm going to school, just a normal day. And then you come home and your dad's never going to come home again. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's interesting, like, because I had to tell this kid off on Friday, and then, like, afterwards, you know, I think it was all right, you know. But then, like, I'm like, man, is this kid going to, you know, get his brothers onto me one day or something like that. You know, like see me out when he's like 21. And
They usually do.
you know what I mean? Something like that.
I got
Like, that's
stories
sir.
on top of stories on top of stories. But
Yeah.
now I
Be like,
think
sir.
it is.
I think ladies over here has gone and seen some of his old teachers.
Oh, not the teachers, the old boys, the older boys.
Oh, yeah.
That's more like, oh, I kissed the ring now, is it? You wanna be friends now, eh? No, but I think a lot of kids remember that sort of stuff, eh? Especially like in your teens, early teens. Like, I think, I've met, like, some of my brother-in-laws have even spoken about it, you know, when they were at their high school, and they used to be like, man, you know, the tutor was being an ass, but he's an old boy, so they let him, you know? And it wasn't until they bumped into each other in town and be like, oh, what's up, boos? But they were looking over him.
Yeah.
What's up, boos? So, bro, kids remember, man.
Yeah.
And they don't let their stuff go, you know?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, one day it's either going to be, sorry, sir, you know, I was just young, or like, sir, what's up, man? you think it's up now, sir?
They'll follow it up, you all good?
It's going to be one or that, you know, either sorry or let's go, you know. We'll see, I guess, in 5-10 years.
Here's a question: what do you guys think will happen next? I mean, New Zealand's not used to this stuff. You know, when we think of shootings like this in public, we think of America. Because I think in America, like, there's already like 189 shootings already this year in public.
180 something.
Or something like that.
Damn.
It's crazy over there. It's just like a normal thing. But over here, you know, we had the crashes shootings that time. And even that was a shock. And then to hear this is a shock too. Like, someone can grab a gun and do this. But obviously it's going to change the systems around and stuff.
Well, I think corrections need to get their shit together. I mean, the fact that it might have been like a private entity that owns that correctional facility and letting these guys come out the way they did, like the way they can be released back into normal working life, needs to be looked at, because clearly there was something wrong with this case. But I mean, maybe that's a lesson for them to see where they fit in, an environment like that. Because I felt, man, if they had a domestic charge against them and they put them on a construction site, that's the biggest red flag ever, man. It's like, you know, you just pretty much know, bro, these guys, they pencils left field, man. Like, you got to be strong. You got to be strong to sort of tolerate the shit that comes out of their mouths.
I don't know, man. Like, you know, I'm a man of faith, and I think this nation's going, like, more and more away from that sort of stuff. So I think it's not to be pessimistic. If anyone knows me well, I'm very optimistic. But I think without, you know, the nation, you know, having faith and stuff like that, I think it will only keep heading in the wrong direction. And I think they are, you know, really trying to cancel out God and schools and everything like that. So, I mean, obviously I hope for the best, but that's just the way I see it going in the direction it is now. But I guess we'll see. I don't know. But that's my opinion on it.
So Judge Steve Bonner, he's the guy that gave the sentence of the 5-year home D. He must be feeling crap right now, like the judge, you know, giving that, and then which led to 2 deaths, you know. I wonder if it's a wake up call for. I don't know, this is a good political thing to happen now with National Party trying to get I told you we need to crank up on the crime prevention kind of stuff. Like, you know, good thing for, like, good excuse for them to push that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the crime stuff that's going to happen in the elections later on.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, man, condolences to these families
Yeah.
with the lost ones from that shooting, man. It's not easy, especially being all over the news and stuff.
It seems like, I don't know the stats, but it seems like it's on the increase, slightly.
Like crime.
Oh, obviously that's up in the crime, but in terms of shootings and stuff like that.
Oh, the shootings, yeah.
Obviously crime is. Because I think they brought in some new stuff for the rain raids and that,
They were supposed to give out preventions to all these businesses, but they were slower doing that.
I think they maybe we could talk about it next week because I don't know the facts too much, but the what they're slapping on for people who are doing ram raids is getting a bit harsher for the kids and teens. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they're trying to make it harsher penalties for the people who committing these crimes because it's not really working what's working at the what they're doing at the moment. So I think they're trying to figure out better way to stop it or limit it type of thing. I heard it on the radio or something the other day, but I don't know it inside out.
Yeah. No, it's those watch the space. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay, boys. From that sad news to our local countdown. Gonna changing their name back to Woolworths. It was Woolworths back in the days. We got changed to Food Town, and then Countdown, and then I was gonna go back to Woolworths. It's gonna cost Woolworths $400 million to change the brands to all their stores around the country. My concern is, man, are they gonna put that on the prices of the? Gonna get those prices back to us? Are we gonna pay for that with put extra 50 cents on everything they're gonna sell?
I'm wondering who the high what club it is that's washing their money through that, man, to change all of that. Because right, that's a lot of money, man. That's a huge amount of money and a huge lot of money to just change the brands over. Like they're pretty much similar. I remember Food Town had that colourful card with their what's the discounts? Like you could swipe, you get whatever 3 cents or 5 cents off at whatever selected items. Whereas the Countdown, I think, adopted that into their cash savings set.
The one
card. Yeah. I'd like to hear Countdown themselves come out and explain why they spend that amount of money on rebranding. They pretty much bought every Food Town there was in the country and changed them over in 14 years or 12 to 14 years in that space of time. Shucks, I don't know.
They've obviously done their homework, done some maths, and sort of see it could be a lucrative thing moving forward. Maybe they made some projections and things like that. But I don't mind, because I grew up with in Aussie with Woolworths and Home Brand, and there's some memories there. It's funny. Everything we had was Home Brand. So yeah, I don't know. We won't be too much of a change.
Mm-hmm.
Unless where you're saying camps and put the prices up.
They put on us, yeah. I think it's a move by Woolworths to put the focus on their brand again, because Woolworths is their brand over in Australia, and to make that be trans-Tasman, bring it over here to New Zealand. Remember, we are Woolworths, so we might as well just stick to our brand name. So there's a good reason for that. Another reason why I think, here's my take on it. My take is that because, man, prices ain't going down, man. Where the inflation's up, man, food prices going up. There's no need for a name like Countdown. I mean, what does Countdown mean? There's no more Countdown, man.
It's count up.
We're not counting down the food prices. We're counting down the money in our pocket, man. We're getting broke, man. So, obviously that needs to change, and it doesn't make sense. Countdown and the prices are up. So, just get away from, Is that a hint to tell us the prices will go up even further? That's why there's the only reason for the name Countdown anymore. So, we'll see about that. Another news, I posted up this thing on our website. So the headline reads, "The Coffee Club, New Lynn Mall, roasted for appearing to sell Countdown supermarket cakes at massive markups." So, I don't know if you guys know the Coffee Club. I've been to one in Henderson.
Yeah, I've been to one of them. I haven't been to one, the one in Henderson. I haven't been in ages, though.
I find them expensive.
But man, after seeing it, after reading one of the comments, I think Tim posted about, that's normal. The markup, and if it means you save money, I mean, why not? Everyone else would have been doing it, just probably not too out the gate to sort of say, yeah, we do it. So I think going deeper, right? Deeper into it, so it is pretty, considering it's a cafe sort of thing.
So what we're talking about. So if I read this, the popular cafe is under scrutiny from franchise bosses and the public after it appeared to sell cake bought from a supermarket next door at a markup of almost 400%. Right? On the Friday night. So it was filmed and put on Facebook. Showed a worker at the coffee club Lynn Mall taking what appeared to be a $7.30 cake from Countdown out of its packaging and into a tray. The cake, divided into 5 portions, was then put into a food cabinet with a display price of $7.20 a slice.
Well, I think if you do the math properly, and she's on an hourly rate, for them to get paid, they need to sell 3 of those cakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you put the time and effort into baking a cake from scratch and then buying ingredients, putting that on an hourly rate, it's probably going to save you a lot more money if you're in the business.
And where it is, it's in the mall. I'm sure that
Everything in the mall.
the rent costs in that mall is up there, so they need to make it up. But my question is for you: do you guys have a problem with this?
Nah, I don't.
Do you have a problem with this, Yush?
Nah, I think it's just business. That's why everyone's trying to, get something and flick it off for a few more extra dollars. That's just the way it is. And if, you got customers willing to buy it, then, power to you type of thing.
And that's from the supermarket, so it would have been fresh anyway, unless it was like, say, a day or 2 old.
Yeah.
Would have been even cheaper, probably.
Exactly. At least it's fresh, okay, guys? At least it's fresh.
The thing that throws me off was if it was from reduced to clear, or clearance shed, and then they're selling it, that's when you'd be like, what the fuck? That's different. Like, I think there's nothing wrong.
Just don't buy it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If you don't like it, you
At the end
don't
of the
buy
day,
it.
if you're the one spending the money, pull it out, man. It's got nothing to do with anyone else.
Yeah. Like, I did a little bit of work in a some bread factory in Aussie, and like some of the breads were the same, but they were just packaged different.
Yeah.
And then some were obviously sold for more than others.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it's just the branding and the perception, because coffee clubs got that bougie type of feel, so they can sell it. If people buy a carrot cake and they feel like it's better because they're eating it there, then that's a part of their marketing and their branding. You know what I mean? Like that's the feel. And if you go somewhere else and it's a cheaper place, like maybe the aesthetics of the building and all that, and they sell it for less, that's sort of like the part. That's just a part of business. You know what I mean? Like it's also where you sit and when you walk in, the way you're treated, it's sort of, so the cake is just like sort of one part of what they're creating in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, that's the way I sort of see it.
But no, it's common practice though. I think if you own a work cafeteria in that workplace, a lot of their stuff will come through quality bakers. Quality bakers will bake for everyone else that has small businesses like cafes and that. That's standard practice. If quality bakers happen to not be baking carrot cake and banana cake that week, they will go to the supermarket. That's just standard practice. So just the fact that someone's blowing this up and put it out there and then obviously name and shame that one particular business just means that they're not in the know of how things work in this world, Like
Exactly.
when it gets to flowers, like, you see, oh, bro, no one's going to, if you go to the flower market, bro, everyone's the same. You might see the same flowers in Countdown, and they might be at a florist. They're from the same bowl, but the one selling them at wholesale price and marking it up like a couple of dollars where you get into a florist. But it's not like this is marked up like 400%. So
that's a good point, because you might have the same flowers in your backyard. And you have to go all the way down the road to the shop to get a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah,
all along, you can just pick your own flowers in your backyard.
Exactly.
But no one wants to do that. It's all about convenience. And you know what I'm talking about? There's nothing wrong with, what this business is doing. It's business, man, and it's capitalism too. It's capitalism.
Yeah,
we live in a capitalism world, man. This is what happens.
I think, as long as the cake is not off,
Yeah.
As long as you're not buying it from reduced to clear, the clearance schedules.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all good. It's fair game.
I mean,
much fake
all
game.
that's happened is that you got caught showing where the cake came from, and if you didn't even know, you'll still buy the cake.
And that's
If all that happens is that now you know it's from Pack and Save or Countdown.
you're
What
gonna
you
go
do
do it
is
yourself
walk another 5 minutes,
and get more
get
for your money.
get the same for the same price for one slice. You can get a whole cake now.
Yeah.
So to walk there 5 minutes. Are you gonna walk there 5 minutes? No, you're not. Just buy it. You save it 5 minutes walk.
Nah. But the thing is, if you go there, you get a coffee, you get your carrot cake, you feel like you're the man or something. But you get a pack and safe and you get a whole thing and you go in the car park and open it up. It doesn't feel the same, you know what I mean?
Bro, exactly.
There's no pretty business ladies walking around or, you know, other stuff like that. So it doesn't have the same vibe as going into a coffee club.
But you know, you mentioned Tim. He posted on the article on the Facebook page, and I totally agree with him. So he goes, supermarkets are cheaper than the wholesale providers quite often. I know lots of hospitality businesses that source supplies from supermarkets. Then it's standard to add your margin, which is as much as you can possibly get. So you can afford to pay wages, the lease, the power bills, the insurance, etc. There's often markups bigger than this at clothing retailers, as well as the price of a t-shirt produced by Bangladesh is less than 50 cents.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to get what you can get, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is like when you're buying, say you're doing fundraiser and you go buy a tray of drinks from the warehouse and it's a brand. You can sell it, you buy it for like $10. And these 24, you're not going to sell them for like whatever you bought it for. You're obviously going to mark it up. Yeah. And that's a prime example. Yeah. But
if you go to an event, right? And it's the middle of nowhere and you're all going to this event and all they got is Jolly Drinks because Jolly Drinks are cheap at warehouse. And they got no other drinks there. You mean to tell me just because they're Jolly Drinks, you're not gonna buy a drink if you're thirsty? You're not gonna buy it because it's a Jolly drink and you're thirsty. And you're not gonna buy it.
That's what that person recording is saying. Nah,
come on, man.
I'd rather. You know what? It sounds like the same person who ate the bread buns instead of the sausages.
Someone with the someone with the up here watching the Reds and Moana Pacifica, and you know everyone's walking around trying to sell their little bottles of soft drink or whatever they got. That's just business,
Yeah, bro.
They can get a couple of dollars here and there and get you a vailima at the end of it.
Just don't be like that guy who goes to Lua Coco, Lua Gala. Sell the coco for $2, man. Just don't be like that guy.
So everybody's out there hustling, trying to do what they can, man.
Yeah, man.
Make $1.
If anything though, the only thing that got exposed was Coffee Club selling stuff from supermarket. That's it. You know, and if Coffee Club has an image they have to portray like they're because they're pretty expensive coffees, man. That's like $7 for a medium or something. Fuck, it's expensive. And I know they're bloody their breakfast, their what do you call it? The eggs Benedict. Man, it's almost $20, man, and you know it's not even that great. Like you know, you can get a nicer one. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is like,
don't get them started.
If you're that kind of business, want to portray it as like top shelf, top class, and you're selling pack and save stuff or countdown stuff, that's the only negative I can say. You know, I don't care about how much you're gonna pay for stuff, but you know, if you're that kind of business, I don't know.
But that's the thing, like some. Like family or friends, I know they just like to buy it from the nice places. Yeah. You know, they just like that.
Yeah.
You know, to sit down in there or something. And I was like, fair enough. I guess if they got a nice vibe in there and you feel like you can catch up and you know have a good time, then it's more that sometimes. Yeah, than the actual food or the drink.
Sweet boys. What's next? We're gonna do Fia Poko of the week. So
he's the front runner.
You got that one? The
man,
the paramedic.
Shout out to the Uzawi who posted that, man. You know what? He's on his Christian walk, bro, and bro, his little funny reels he might post every now and then, bro, it got me. When I saw it, bro, that's the man's Fia Poko, man. So anyone who knows, when you're a paramedic, when you're a first respondent, man, you know you always got to make sure you can stabilize a person when they're on a gurney. But then there comes a point when you got to think to yourself, man, is this safe? So this paramedic who showed up and had his patient on the gurney, instead of standing end to end, which is like, you know, obviously stand away, facing away from the body, he decided, actually, instead of like just shuffling a couple of foot away, decided to step over the guy on the gurney. And gallify this guy, what does he look like? 120, 130 kgs?
Yeah.
Picking up a guy who's probably like 60 kgs on the gurney.
With a spinal injury.
He's got spinal. Damn. My first response before I laughed was, I was like,
So he slips, right, and falls on him.
But it's not the slip. It's why did he have to step over?
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Like, why did he have to step over? If he had like his
He's in
his
a
spinal
rush.
cord was hanging by a thread, he is now paralyzed for good. That is just bro. How do you justify that? Use? You can't.
He sort of had a little giggle too, eh?
Bro, I don't know what was you think he's stepping over though, man. Like,
Was he in a rush? Was it like life-threatening, or it was take too long to walk around?
as I said, it was if he was on like his spinal cord was like hanging by a thread, it was Malepe as soon as the guy landed on him, man. He is now paralyzed. He's like, fuck. Like, what's it a wise man if you're gonna be first respondent, man? Do not step over the body or the guy on the gurney, man. Literally face away, man. Don't ever do this. I'll just step over him, like, just casually, and then kind of moody land on him. Poor dude. He's probably got 5 broken ribs now.
Sure, Luz. We'll go from that to memory lane. So our memory lane today, Leti, you posted this up, eh? The 2 kids arguing. Now I'm going to play this clip. Let me just play this clip.
Yes, there was only 4 pieces left. I chopped up because you ate some of it. And then I already knew that wasn't even going to be enough for you because there was only 4 pieces left. And you said you wanted yours cut. I chopped up my first more. I didn't even eat much for bread. Then why would you even chop up the first one? I chopped it up for us to taste. You already know what hot dogs taste like. That's the whole hot dog tasting. You eat hot dogs since you was 1. You still don't know how hot dogs taste. You just ate one yesterday. Or 2 days ago. You ate one 2 days ago and now you don't know how hot dogs taste. You ate one at the trick or trunk at football. Trunk or treat. The whole point of us having hot dogs was for you to get 2 whole ones and for me to get 2 whole ones. Or since there were 6 in the pack, you get 2, I get 2. One. So I didn't eat mine for bread. Sean gets 1. Why do you gotta yell? I didn't even eat mine for bread. That's why. You don't have to eat it with bread. You were stinky feet in your shorts.
So this conjure up memories back in the day when you're arguing with your siblings. Let's.
Yeah, man. See, as I mentioned earlier, man, shout out to my brother Filippo, who he doing 51 on the 15th, man. He was king of that shit, eh? Like, literally, my mom would cook us a meal, man. Like, say there was like 15 drumsticks. This dude would go and ask for his one for later that he hasn't eaten, and then come back and eat again. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, it's for me later. Like, nah, G, nah. Put it back. And you're, nah, it's for me later when I get hungry. Like, put it back, man. And that's what it reminded me of, eh? So I gotta ask you, Zach, was there ever a time that something went in the fridge like that, and like, eat it now and then leave some for later, but don't take it away yet. Like, wait for everyone to eat first and then go and grab some. Because that's straight Lynn Mall, man.
I've had things where I had to leave like for later, but then like during the whole day and just keep coming back, just keep taking little bits by little bits.
Yeah.
And then until when it's the time to have it, there's like not enough for,
Ooh, that's me and the ice cream as a kid, man. That's me with the ice cream. The 5-liter ice cream. I just gonna make one small cone. A couple hours later, make another one. There was nothing left.
We used to just like have the fish and chips and then like try to check, because there may be like two papers, and try to check some underneath some paper or something, and then eat hard out, because it was always sort of like goes quick, and then hopefully you have a few underneath the paper, so make you a bit more full. So I guess that was sort of similar. And then one of the other ones was we used to like ours was ice cream, so like if we couldn't eat it all, we'd put it in the fridge. But you know, someone else is gonna try to eat it, so we used to like spit in it and stuff. Spit in our ice cream.
I thought it was just our house that did that. We used to do the sneeze. Sneeze over he was drinking, he had some of my milkshake. That one, Nick.
If I remember back in the days when Dad used to take us through the drive-through and McDonald's and like the first one to grab the bag, like always try to be the first one to grab the bag, because if you grab the bag, right, and you go home and then you just hand out everyone's food, but you get the chips that are
Still inside the bag.
still inside the bag, and you add it to
Smart,
add it to your
Poko.
own chips.
The ones that fall out. Yeah. Nice. That's smart.
It's like eating a pack of chips. And you take the fish, like the bagans, and you open up the bagans and you pass it around. This was before anyone said, put it in a bowl. No. Because you would hold on to the bottom of the bag. Hey, wait, that's all that's left now. Let go. That's all that's left. Just hurry up and take some. Those ones, man. Shout out to my brothers and sisters who are greedy with the bagans, man, and the CCs.
We used to just wait for payday, and then we would eat the whole like 2-liter ice cream. Because me and my brothers were all like, I'm sort of the shortest, about 6 foot. Other one's like 6'1". The other one's like 6'4", something like that. But yeah, we used to eat a lot of ice cream, But we used to eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
And my other brother, he's known from all my family, like being ice cream eater. He would eat like a whole 2 liters
Oh,
Damn.
in the sitting. Yeah. The little one. But mum used to always get the 4 liters, and then between the 3 of us, we would eat it all. And then hungry for the rest of it. That's it.
I love, but mind you, I love hearing my kids, like, because now our fridge is at the bottom. Our fridge is at the top, the fridge is at the bottom. So to get the ice cream, you got to open up the tray at the bottom. And I crack up when I hear that, because you got to give it a bit of a jiggle. Yeah. When I know someone's got it there. And then like a few moments later, I hear the fridge close, and then I hear the, fuck, who ate all the ice cream? And it's usually my little girl, she's crack up, man. And it's what I've noticed, they've clicked now. It's like whenever someone after kongai or dinner, we go, ice cream, and then someone will go, ice cream sodas. If you're not the one answering the ice cream, bro, you do not know the portions, hey. Sometimes I'm like, this is pretty watery. Then I see her in the corner, quietly sitting eating her ice cream, like, fuck, what,
Stacked.
They learn from the older ones,
So, boys, next segment on touch on the sport that went on the weekend. So, we can have
Probably my last
couple of comments.
I have to shoot off after, but yeah, I'll do this one.
Oh yeah. So, Manu Samoa, they beat Japan, 22-20, I think it was. Fiji, they beat Tonga. And it was an interesting game because Tonga had a few ex-All Blacks in there. Fikito was playing. Ex-Warrior Solomona Katso was playing.
Falau. Was he?
Nah, he wasn't there.
Oh,
He wasn't playing.
He played in the other game,
Yeah, he did play in the other game. Charles Piazza was playing too. So yeah. The Women's Soccer World Cup, you guys been keeping up with that? I know they won their game against Norway, and that was a big win. That was the first win for any New Zealand team playing soccer in the World Cup, because when the All Whites played in that Soccer World Cup, when they were undefeated because all their games were a draw. So that was the first win. I think there's a girl, half Samoan girl, that's in that team, in the women's team. Forgot her name.
Watch a little bit of the Women's World Cup, but like it's too long to watch the whole thing. But yeah, I'll just sort of scan, watch 10, 15
Is
minutes.
it free to air? Is it on the TV Duke or
Some
yeah.
games are, right?
Because I think it's a TV NZ +1
Yeah.
doing free screening. It's supposed to be coming on that channel. But
They probably
I can't
showed
find
the
it.
New Zealand games, eh?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they showed the New Zealand.
I'd rather watch that than watch the bloody Australia and England Ashes test. So why are you watching this shit? Put something on. Put some free to air Warriors games or Parramatta games or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't watch that shit. Australian cricket.
Yeah.
No,
Well, that must be on. How
I
many
think it's on
tests?
Duke.
How many tests they've got? Because I've been going for a while now. 5 tests, 6 tests or something,
Oh, is it?
or 3. Oh yeah, don't know. But that Ashes is interesting. That's England versus Australia. That's like the cricket version of State of Origin
Yeah.
when it comes to
Pretty
Ashes.
big.
Yeah.
But now watch the little bits, 10, 15 minutes here and there, but too long to watch the whole thing. But it's cool. It's weird to watch it because, you know, we flick channels before and see like the English Premier League or the La Liga or whatever. But like, you know, you watch it and it's pretty professional. It looks mean, and you're like, "But that's here."
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Like, you know, there's good crowds and the field looks nice, and you know, there's good quality sport going on. So it's pretty cool. I think for New Zealand, especially in New Zealand, like not being, you know, soccer or football crazy type of thing. You know, I guess it's good for growing the sport and, you know, exposure over here. So, but it's pretty buzzy seeing all these like world famous teams over here and all that, and players and that, and but it looks good on TV.
I think it's good for the economy, and especially showcasing the Māori culture. I mean, I saw 2 of the Porphyries. They were pretty mean, eh?
Yeah.
I think they had maybe an African team that came through and they did the Porphyry, and then they ended up singing like a Flika song, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to see, like just the exchange of cultures and then how we welcome people into the country.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Later on today is the start of the New Zealand NBL, New Zealand National Basketball League final. It's Canterbury Rams versus Auckland Tuatara.
Is it best of 5?
I don't know if it is. I know the first game today. It should be. Oh, I don't know.
I think it's two.
Best of 3?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because I saw Canterbury won last night. I watched it.
Was it Nuggets?
Otago,
yeah.
I watched the end of that.
Yeah, I just saw. I don't know. Corey Webster was playing.
Yeah.
And Rams, yeah.
And then Ty was playing for Otago.
Oh yeah. So I know. I was following a little bit of the Tuatara. They've got that tall guy. Forgot his name. But plays for New Zealand Breakers. He's been the man. Doing all. I think he's topping the league in rebounds. And blocks too. Yeah.
But now it's cool how they're getting a lot of the like international players in it. I've been following the women's one a little bit as well, and they got like some girls who were drafted, WNBA players and players from around the world and stuff. So, and then plus they got all the New Zealand like, you know, best players and that who are doing pretty well as well. Some Aussie players. So I think the league's pretty good. Like the basketball, you know, the boys, and it's getting better and better. The quality, and I think Dylan Bouch is pretty involved there.
Yeah, behind the scenes, eh?
Yeah, so I think he's doing a lot of good stuff in terms of growing the game and building it up. From what I can see, I don't know, you know, maybe other executives, but from what I see, it looks cool. It looks cool, yeah.
You been following any NRL?
NRL, a little bit.
Past weekend?
I watched some of the Warriors the other day. Man, they're looking good, eh? Looking good style.
Man, you got to touch on that, bro. These guys were saying, man, we watching the NRL, the first 10 rounds. First 10 rounds, there was Kens and Ovs jumping on the... Because Avi was trying to find a team to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to the back of the Bunnies.
Yeah.
Hey, stick to the Raiders, eh? And he did it, eh? And Raiders were in the top 4. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, bro, I think when round 10 Pro Medals sitting like 14th. Now they're in the top 8.
Yeah.
So, I guess to show, man, they can show the way the... See, look at the Dolphins, you know.
Yeah.
Shows how the table can change.
Yeah.
So,
it's a tough competition, eh? I think it's definitely like one of the toughest competitions in the world. Like, if you don't turn up, it's so small, like, you know, the margin of error, and if you don't have the right, you know, passion and vigor, you can get a hiding, and then next week you can win because you do turn up. So,
yeah. So that Warriors game was particularly interesting because Canberra came back in the last 10 minutes and scored that try.
I was like, no way.
Scored 2 tries in the last 5, eh?
Yeah.
That's shocking, eh? Like, especially at home, eh?
Yeah.
To tie the game up. And
but I mean, of all things to make it interesting, because that was like their last game, remember? They pretty much had it in the bag, 2 minutes to go, and that's when Sean Johnson did was it a drop goal or a penalty? Oh no, he got a drop goal and put the game out by 1, but then Nico Hans got the penalty and he was going to try and take it out 45 meters and he missed it. But I was like, the game was pretty much 1-0, but then he ended up knocking it forward and catching it from offside position.
Well, I think if any Warriors fans or the Warriors fans were anything to go by was their Souths game at Go Stadium when they got when they lost under those conditions. You sort of say to yourself, man, Warriors are not a wet weather team, eh? You know,
Yeah.
and it was raining. It was raining that night when they played Canberra Raiders, and so when Canberra Raiders scored those last two tries to tie the game up for Golden Point, you would have thought, oh man, here we go again, because it's wet, you know, and the Warriors aren't too good in the wet. But you know, Sean Johnson got that kick over and won the game. So.
But yeah, to be honest, I like watching the schoolboy, like 18s, 20s, local footy and stuff like that. I mean, I do watch the NRL here and there and stuff like that, but I just like that freedom. But it's cool because I guess the Warriors, in a sense, you know, sort of playing some of that style. You know, I've seen like a few outball, inball type of thing, like just not just the same block play.
Yeah.
So that's why I like watching like the 18s or 20s or some of the local leagues. The guys would play off the cuff a little bit in that.
Yeah.
Play off the back of offloads and things like that. So, but it's cool to see like Johnson do, you know, back himself, run the ball a bit. Yeah, it's been cool to watch him. Good style of foot.
Who's your team again? Is it Newcastle? Or?
Yeah. That's where I'm from, so that's sort of my team. I grew up like mainly following the Broncos, but I feel like now that I'm growing up, I was like, I should support my home team. So I sort of follow the Knights and the Warriors because I live here. So I'm trying to like small follow where I'm from. But when I was a kid, I didn't really know, you know, that you should follow your own local team.
You don't want to jump on your nephew's team, the West Tigers.
Obviously, I watch them and, you know, support him and that. But Tigers not my team. But I'll just support him, you know. Yeah. And if, you know, obviously, we want the Tigers to go well because he's there. But now they're getting whooped. I think they'll be good next year. They got a lot of good young guys coming through. I think they're good experience from this year. Hopefully, they can hold on to them. It's hard to hold on to players these days, eh? Like.
Yeah, man. I think the changing of clubs is pretty wicked, eh? Like just
pretty quick, eh?
Yeah, bro. Like I think Tapau was having trouble, like issues again.
Yeah, didn't he get done for that high tackle or something?
No, he did a knee.
Knee.
Oh, knee.
He ran with his knee up. Yeah.
He's the wrong sport, eh? Yeah. It's like a hurdles knee, eh?
Yeah, no, it wasn't good.
I think GSUC would have been the last Warrior who had something like that.
Yeah.
And he got a suspension for like 2 or 3 weeks. But bro, seems like he might miss the finals footy.
Yeah,
true. If they come down on him.
Pretty,
because that was
bad.
bluntly, and maybe his intent off field wasn't the same as the one he had on the field when he put his leg up. You know, so I don't know.
I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Manu Samoa game, Charlie Faumuina had his first cap for the boys in blue. He came on off the bench, went straight into the scrum, and he got a penalty.
Oh wow!
No, he got penalized. So his first.
Remember his debut, didn't he?
Play, yeah.
I only watched, I think, from the second half and then towards the end, and then I had to go shower my daughters because they were screaming, so I missed the last bit. But I was talking to my father-in-law, and he was saying he doesn't like the attitude. He said they were laughing a few times. I don't know. Did you guys see that?
Who?
Samoa team?
Oh, when they were.
They shouldn't be laughing when they're playing. Like, they should be more serious. Because they got it lucky. But I didn't watch. I only mainly watched like 30 minutes. I don't know.
Same. I watched the first 30.
Yeah.
Had to go.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. What about you guys? What do you guys think?
They played a lot of the Moana Pacifica guys in this team. They played. I know they got other guys waiting to come in, like Saboga. He's gonna be in there. I think he'll be their starting 10 anyway. So I think that's pretty much the B team that we saw.
Yeah, I thought Lefano, he made some clutch kicks. I think that was pretty. I was just thinking about how big games are with kicks.
Yeah.
You know, because Cricket. Was it Cricket? Yeah, Cricket. No, for the Raiders. You know, if he made that kick, they would have won.
Yeah, true.
And then Johnson makes the field goal, they win. You know, like, and then he made some big kicks. They win by 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of games that, you know, because the teams are so good, They're professional, their skills are good, they're
Yeah, bro.
fit. It comes down to the smallest things, One tackle,
yeah, bro.
one penalty,
Penalties,
one kick, or something,
I think the skill level in NRL is so high.
Yeah.
It's sort of like NBA in the playoffs. When you watch the NBA playoffs, the skill level is so high. Like one little thing, and
That's
that's it. Game
Yeah,
over. It's
yeah.
just like you feel that way with NRL. Eh?
Yeah. You're right.
It's those 1%ers.
Yeah.
That matter. Like that extra half a second you
Yeah.
get when you step, or you need it because that's the difference between scoring a try or not.
Yeah. That's why I sort of mentioned how I like been enjoying watching the local stuff a little bit because there is a little bit of
Yeah, bro. Oh man, you watch enough of it week to week, bro. You
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, these kids are not scared to throw the ball around.
Yeah,
or, like,
have a crack.
back themselves.
and like you don't get crucified if you make a mistake
Yeah,
and things
bro.
like that. You can have a crack and make up for it. But
Yeah.
NRL, if you make a mistake, let's try the other end.
yeah,
like
amplify
it's amplified. Huh?
man.
It's your fault, like
Yeah.
really is like it's brutal, man. So hats off to those players, man. It's tough,
Yeah, bro.
If I think about it, like you guys talking about that, we were talking about the skill level and that the quality of game. That game, the Manu Samoa Japan, it wasn't really good quality. It was a bit
Yeah,
sloppy.
messy, sloppy
It was
as.
sloppy as man.
But, like,
balls and
Watching 30 minutes of that game, the Manu in Japan, but then watching the Japan versus the All Blacks 15, bro, big difference, eh? The Japanese team were like trying stuff that you wouldn't. I don't even think New Zealand would dare to try and do, like especially at line out time, set piece and just the way they try and recycle the ball. But I think just from the small highlight shows that I have been watching, bro, the refs need to be a bit more woke to like the guys coming in from the side. Like I was watching the women's game, Harbour and Northland today, and just the amount of girls like coming in from the wrong side. The ref was obviously penalising them. But yeah, some of the international refs need to pick up on that stuff because I know the back of Super Rugby they let a lot of that stuff slide. In some of those games, like where the New Zealand teams were playing the Australian teams, they weren't really penalising the Australians for doing it, but they're like, renowned for doing it. So
Who did the All Blacks play recently? They gave a good
Springboks.
Yeah, I was watching that game and like the All Blacks were playing like fast pace. But then I was thinking back to when Ireland beat them down, and I was like, these guys, they slow the game up, man. Like, because the All Blacks love that free flowing, and that they get to play that like intuitive footy, and it really suits them. But like, if those big strong teams like South Africa and that can find a way to slow the game down, I think it'll really play into their hands. I was surprised South Africa didn't try to do that more. Slow it down because it doesn't suit them. Because they're usually big, strong forward guys. Grind teams.
Yeah, that's interesting you said that because you think like maybe it was just the game plan that lost them the game.
Yeah, because no one's better than playing that style than the All Blacks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. If the other teams can take a leaf out of Ireland's hand, where they were faking injuries like left, right, and centre just to slow the game down and that, they were doing so much, but it worked.
I think the difference with because you know how Andy Farrell's part of that Ireland team, they rush the fence like how you do it in league.
Yeah.
It tends to put a lot of the guys like they play like Super Rugby off because they're not used to that come forward. But usually what beats that in league is the block plays. And like the second line of sort of attackers. Monga's probably the best at doing it because he's a touch player. And like, if you rushed him, he knows he can either show and go or like just try and get tackled. But his backdoor play, like I think when they played the Blues last year, he was doing it with Sevu Reece, but he's doing it at depth. But he knows when to pull back and when to stand flat. But he's bro. I reckon, bro. After watching his highlights last week's game, I can't wait to see what the World Cup will bring, man. Because that'll be like the real test, like whether he can sort of like deliver under pressure and at a faster pace.
Well, there was a thing with Cody Walker and the third Origin. He was having his way on the left side.
Oh yeah, that's a good side. Yeah, that's a good example of it. That's a good example of it standing real flat.
Yeah,
and then when the guys are coming up, not going to the first guy but to the back.
Yeah,
the backdoor guy.
So that worked the first half. Then the second half, they started to rush up, similar to the Ireland thing, right?
Yeah.
And then I heard a comment, Joey Johns, who's commentating. He's like, what they need to do is hit the front runner and then double up and do it again.
Yeah.
Because if you hit the front runner, then you can get a quick play of the ball and then maybe run it again.
Yeah.
Whereas I think like if the All Blacks, they're going to get rushed from Ireland, they might, like Ireland are going to rush, obviously, try to cut the ball going out. If they can, like, slow it down there and then, fake an injury or something, then Moanga and the All Blacks can't get into, like, a rhythm.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because they want to sort of play off that second phase, second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
But see, like, if they can sort of stop the game.
Second phase to me is like, if you got the block runners going right, because like if you're first, you got your inside, then you got your short ball. The second phase on rush defense is always a miss pass, but Monga has to put himself in their position to throw the miss pass.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't go across, having Bowden on the left side is brilliant for it because he can throw the miss pass and he can go 2 or 3 players wide. It's just whether they hit it at pace.
Yeah.
The Crusaders are the best at it, man. Like if you watched the live game from last year, that final, Reece was like full pace by the time he got to the like the 8 feet, which is what makes them good. But I mean, if they can do that, man, dangerous, eh?
Yeah.
But whether you can have that same energy like 16 minutes into the game.
But yeah, I just hope that the All Blacks adapt because teams are going to do it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They're going to try to disrupt.
Yep.
And if they can't play that free flowing, do they have another plan?
Yeah. I mean, that's
So
what made Moana's season last year good because teams were disrupting their flow. Like the forward, you'd never go 3 or 4 phases before something sloppy.
Yeah.
But then the broken play, bro, that island flair is second to none. They just gong into one of the boys, he'll run with one hand and someone will follow him. And that's how they were scoring their tries.
Yeah.
Or Moore would always get a clean break forward to Tuala or something and then fucking pull something out of their ass. Like the All Blacks can do it because they got the players, but whether the structure play is going to, help them win, a lot of the territory in the game without kicking the ball.
Yeah, I noticed what some of the All Blacks, I don't know. I don't follow rugby like as hard out as I do follow it, but I'm no expert. But what I noticed is they have their pods, and they all hit like the main guy, and then there's a guy either side. They'll have their pods, but like it gets predictable. And I was thinking,
bro, the Blues are the worst at it, bro.
I was just thinking, like, why don't they do the old pick and go to mix it up?
You'd think, hey,
Do the couple of pick and goes, then maybe hit a pod, like that type of thing. Or do the other.
That's what they call they call it robotic, and it's just going with the it's going with the what is it called? It's just going like not actually playing what's in front of you.
Yeah.
But bro, I seen Carsten do that against Westlake. They did the same thing.
Too wide. You got to go forward
exactly
first.
Like how the Blues do it.
Yeah.
Exactly where the Blues do it. Just front door. And because Westlake had the mentality like, don't tackle him, roll away.
Yeah.
When there's only 1 or 2 guys it's not a ruck. The defender has to come forward and then make it a ruck. And they were just smashing Carsten like that. The Blues, it's like they're predictable. They have the first blocker, the second blocker. It might be a prop in a second row. Or they may have the next guy. But yeah, no one thinks to pick and go.
Yeah.
Like,
just to draw them
change
in.
It up. Yeah,
just
bro.
because then the guys out wide will have to stay a bit.
Yeah. And then you got the guys out wide.
Because
you can go wide.
Because they might pick and go. So if you can pick and go a little bit,
Yeah.
then you can go to that. And they even almost like pick the same runner too. It might be like what's his name, Vitalik, and there'll be like three guys or something that are always the ball runners.
Yeah.
From those pods, I don't know. I feel like it gets too predictable.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
For the All Blacks, it's Ari. He takes maybe one of the first or the second one, and it's one of the props, and it'll be either whoever's playing 7. But they never mix it up with like if now that you got Jordy Barrett, they never let the second 5 runner. But it's like, why not? Because he's a runner.
Yeah.
He can kick it. You got 2 guys who can pass it with Barrett at the back and Wonga. So you can go both sides. But they never use it. It's like they're so programmed just to do the same shit instead of play what's in front of them.
Yeah.
Because like, Joey's saying, you said that John talks about like smashing it short so you can draw the defenders in.
Yeah.
And that's when you go wide, when you throw miss passes.
That's just if they rush up because
but that's what
they
it is.
started to do it in the second half.
Yeah. In rugby, you just be punching them in so you can pull the fullback across.
Yeah.
Once the fullback comes across, then you've got 3-on-1, which would be the centre wing. Then 3-on-2, 1, you got the guy on the outside. But it's whether they can play it like that, because you're right, bro. Too predictable, man.
Yeah.
But whether they can see it on the field, that's the other thing.
Yeah. Well, it was good. Like Queensland made an adjustment in the second half. They did start to rush up and then kill better time and space. So it was good. They did at halftime. But hopefully the All Blacks can do that because these teams are smart. I mean they're gonna pick up on what the All Blacks, and then hopefully the All Blacks can grind out some games. Like they might not score the most spectacular tries. Like they might have to just pick and go and win a game that way. So
At the
something
moment,
like that, kick some goals.
They set pieces is ugly. It's ugly. Not like when you see like the New South last 2 tries or first 2 tries. That was set piece. That was beautiful to watch. Like that was just being a little bit later and standing a little bit deeper. And bro, it didn't matter if you had them number for number. It was the way their left flank punches. When To'o got the balls, you can't stop it. It's just
Cody's like that old school playmaker. That guy who's been in your club for ages. They just know it. Yeah. They just know.
Only if they brought that energy on game 2. Would have made a better series there.
We stopped the bleeding. That's what matters. We stopped the bleeding.
All right, I think I got.
Sweet,
Sorry,
man.
boys. Yeah. I should have pushed. I wasn't sure with the times, but
No, you good, man.
I was train Keita. Yeah. The session going.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm
it's all
training
good.
Leti's daughter, trying to get her back on the field. Hey, sometime this year.
Oh, bro,
With
yeah.
the knee,
I reckon
yeah.
that's a goal, bro. It's
Yeah,
achievable.
Yeah, her knee wasn't as bad as I thought. We
Oh,
trained the
okay.
other day, and because when I started rehabbing my knee, it was worse. And
Oh,
then
shit.
some of the drills I was like, actually pretty good. So I don't think she's as far as off as I thought. I think I think she'll do well. Coming back in her hamstrings and that. Yeah.
Well,
pretty
she
strong.
knows who she's got, bro. I've already told her. Hey, look at the cousins. Look at the cousins.
So it's good. She was good, man. Just work hard and yeah. She was good. But it's good to be back on. Sorry I couldn't finish it to close it out. I'll try to time it better next week, boys. But always a pleasure being on here.
Oh, man. Good to have you on.
good to
We've
have
got to
you.
have you back.
Yeah.
We'll just see you next week, Goose.
Yeah,
What's that?
We'll just see you next week.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna jump on your seat, man, because we're gonna finish this off.
All right. Sorry, guys.
Right, I'm in the camera.
And he's back.
So everybody that doesn't know what I look like,
Is anyone wanting to go out on a date with us, dude? Shout him, drop us a big $250,000 donation, man. We'll make that happen.
all right, where are we? Shall we do the song of the week? So you came up with a song that I haven't heard for a long time, but it's an awesome song, sung by Tom Jones, and it's called "Green Green Grass of Home."
Oh, you explained the vibes also. You're the one who was talking about it. Like you said, oh man, gave you memories. But I was on karaoke last night, and the song came up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until you said, oh, sorry, we didn't have a song. It's like, bro, I remember this song, mate.
I remember the song too, and I remember it was a favorite of when I was a kid of my parents.
Yeah.
Used to hear it all the time at home, like and or we go out to a party and that, or because I'm out of the cousins on my mum's side, like me, I'm like one of the youngest, like real young. Because all my cousins, when I was like 5 years old or 10 years old, they would have been 22, 23.
Yeah.
So I was going to the 21st when I was 5 or 10, and while all the adults are drinking and having fun, I'm like the young one playing hide and seek with the other young ones, at these kind of parties. So the music will be all the old school jams like UB40 and all that. But Tom Jones, man, that song Green Green Grass would have been there a few times, and man,
It's a nice song. Good karaoke song, eh?
yeah. Oh, good karaoke song. And you had karaoke last night, the 21st. Good song to sing, man.
Yeah, bro, hold up.
Who chose it?
Oh, no. Oh, I sung it with the kids at home. But yeah, I was just, man, I hadn't heard the song for, my puzzle was doing like alphabetical order. But yeah, man, I was like, yeah, my Uncle George, shout out to my Uncle George, man, Mickey's dad. When you told me what the song was about, bro, it just made it that much heavier, I was like, wow.
So the song, wait, let me just bring it up. So the song was released in 1965. It's a country song. 1965. That's
20 years after the World War II. Shit.
Yeah. Written by a guy named Curly Putman. And released by Decca Records. There was actually an original version, But Tom Jones had a version in which he first appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show, 65, and sung the version. This is one of the songs where you know firsthand, but you never know what the lyrics were about. Until you mentioned we're gonna sing the song. I mean, we're gonna choose the song for the segment, and then looked up the lyrics, and I just read, and man, it's a real sad song, because it's talking about like the first half of the song. He talks about him coming home. He's coming back home. He jumps off the train, comes back home, sees his mum and dad, and his long lost sweetheart named Mary. And he's reminiscing about. Oh wait, we don't know he's reminiscing yet. He comes home, sees Mary, he sees the tree that he grew up with, thinks of his childhood, and then he wakes up. In the second half of the song, he wakes up, and he's in prison, and it's just a dream of the memories that he had when he was young. But he's on death row.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how the next time he's gonna see his mum and dad and Mary, he's not, because he's gonna be dead. They're gonna bury him under the tree he thinks about, and that his family and Mary's gonna see him then.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the song. And it's like, what?
Yeah, man.
Pretty sad.
Sad song, man. Especially because in the song he's talking about these 4 walls in the padre, It's like, damn, there's a talking bit. And he sings the last 2.
Yeah.
It's not as good to touch the green grass of him. But man, what a powerful song, Powerful song. A guy on different.
Yeah, so the last verse when he's talking, he goes, Then I awake and look around me at 4 grey walls that surround me. And I realize, yes, I was only dreaming, for there's a guard and there's a sad old padre. On and on we'll walk daybreak. Again I'll touch the green grass of home. Yes, they'll all come to see me in the shade of that old oak tree, as they lay me neath the green grass of home.
Yeah. That last bit sung,
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was reading it, I was like, man, it gets me every time, man. Gets me every time. But yeah, that's my little party. Like when I go to a karaoke or someone's doing karaoke, and then you do what the song's about, Like, yeah, it's a Tom Jones, It's like, yeah, what do you think it's about? And they have no idea, right?
Yeah.
No idea. That's why the guy is freaking, it's going to get the electric chair, man. What?
See, I didn't even know. But you knew before.
But man, yeah, I just thought to myself, So yeah, ever since I found out what the story was, probably like 10 years ago, but I thought, man, someone's got to be real sad to hear to sing this song. But I mean, it is a great karaoke song. Good garage music song,
So, bro, that's a good song for the segment. We'll bring up different songs every episode just to reminisce about, talk about. But this was a good one. This was a good one. Okay, man, next segment. What have you been watching?
Man, I got to check my history, bro, because after watching all of the sport from last week, just finally catching up on that, I tried to watch the rest of that Ray Donovan, that movie, and suddenly my internet wouldn't let me do it. I was like, come on, man, what's going on? Then I try to watch some more DIY stuff, but I've just been on Marketplace. Just been on Marketplace. I haven't actually found. I think it's the Banshee.
Oh yeah.
Either I just recorded the one episode and not the series record. But yeah, I'm trying to find the episode 2, but I think I've missed it, so I might have to try and catch up on that. But Short on the Street's been good, like I said, man. And I don't know if I mentioned it on one of the episodes, but I remember saying that there was a shooter in the hospital. So that was only like a week ago, mate, and then the shooting happened in real life.
Oh, hey.
So this is why I was like, bro, Short on the Street, bro, whoever produces this stuff, bro, it was crazy.
Because they shoot it weeks before,
I think
a month.
That's what you were saying, 3 months.
3 months before.
But can you remember when I said, oh man, yeah, it's been real tough because of the exit of TK. So we didn't know whether he died or not. But that was because a gunman came back to the hospital and shot up everyone because of his mum. And then the stuff on the news, man, like this, bro, Short Street, man. Them and their stuff, bro, they just got a crystal ball,
So in the States right now, there's a phenomenon called Barbenheimer, okay? And it's going crazy. It's going mad, and it's Barbenheimer. So it's the two movies put together in memes and social media. Everybody's making a big deal of it. Barbenheimer, Barbie as in Barbie the movie, with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling as Ken, and then you got Oppenheimer, the Christopher Nolan movie about the invention of the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
So somehow it's called Barbenheimer. Somehow that's the thing, because these are two movies that came out at the same time and they're making a lot of money. So I think it's a publicity thing that they've made into something. But these are two opposite kind
I
of
was
movies.
gonna say, it's like, what did they do on like a transcript where like both of them cross over?
Yeah, man, it's like weird because that's how they haven't marketed it like Barbenheimer. Like Barbie and Oppenheimer, the two studios that are trying to promote these two movies, they haven't actually invented this. The fans have invented this and made it a big deal on their own. So it's like an organic. Barbenheimer is an organic thing made up by the fans.
Yeah.
So it's pushed it so everybody's watching it. So I think Oppenheimer's already made 77 million, going up to 80. It's going to be 100 million soon. It just came out. Barbie's already, I think, on their way past 100 million, 100
Shit.
million. So whatever happened, like, you know, it's funny because, you know, studios have to promote their films that they put out. But this is different because the fans have done it. You know,
Yeah.
the fans have sort of took over and made this into something, you know.
So it's blowing up on socials. Crazy.
But it's the Barbenheimer thing.
Yeah.
These two movies that are so different put together. So a big bonus for the movie studios. We're going into a bit of a shit time of year with the strikes, actor strikes, and all that kind of stuff. Because the actors are striking, they're not going to actors are not going to promote anything. So with this Barbenheimer thing, it's the fans are doing it, not the actors. So
would you say it's like a timing of when the films are dropping that's made it possible for the fans to take a hold of these
well,
films?
that's the thing, because the Barbenheimer, like the two movies dropped on the same day, released at the same time.
Crazy.
So, yeah, it's one of those things that they'll probably take advantage of next time. How can we get the fans to promote our stuff? You know.
I wonder if there was like an incentive, like if you posted about it or made something big, and you know, like on TikTok or on anything else, and they would have just run with it.
Yeah, it would have been because it's all on TikTok and stuff like that. But yeah, me and Eric went to watch Oppenheimer at the IMAX because Christopher Nolan, if you don't know him, he's the director that did Dark Knight, Inception, Tenet, all those movies. He directed this movie on camera, IMAX camera. So he filmed it on IMAX camera, so it's intended to be viewed on IMAX. So me and Eric went to IMAX last night, watch it. Yeah, it was pretty interesting if you're into kind of stuff like that. Like, it was interesting, like, everyone knows about the atomic bomb. But this is a story about how it got made, and you know, to me it was interesting how they didn't know what was going to happen when they did the first test. And it was all about them doing the first test. Like, what if we blow up the whole world?
Straight up, man.
You know? It was like
It's freakish that, like,
it's freaky, man.
it's freakish, like, even like back in the day, like, you know, when the Greenpeace and that were trying to tell, you know, the nuclear powers not to drop these in the ocean, eh? They say guys from the other side of the world coming to our Pacific fucking waters to try and do that shit, eh?
Yeah, like the French, eh?
Fuck, you know, yeah, bro.
French. Yeah. But yeah, that was so that was the thing that was pretty cool about this movie, how they portrayed everything leading up to the first ever test.
Yeah.
Because even they didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh my lord.
You know?
Yeah, it was like I'm thinking.
They did all the calculations, everything. Okay, this it's not going to blow up the whole world, okay?
Yeah.
But it can. Like, we know the power this is going to, you know?
See, does it actually show you like an explosion?
Yeah, it shows, like, I think that's why it was filmed on IMAX, so you can get the full blast
true.
and full sound. Because Christopher Nolan is into sound. His movies are all about sound. Like, if you watch his movie called Dunkirk back in the day, like, he uses sound to give the tension in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he starts off like a sound that's real tiny, and then it builds up.
Oh, so I had this thing that I think, you know how we were talking about movie reviews, and we say like, oh, what made you like the Men in Black he knew the song. Like, that's what drew you to want to go watch Will Smith, because he's a singer,
Yeah.
he's acting. Oh, he's next to Tommy, you know? It's usually the music, but like how you were talking about that, I was playing a playlist of his house music, and certain songs like that are in fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like I was, I got a playlist on YouTube, and I was playing like Marilyn Manson's "The Beautiful People," but the actual track is when they on like Tokyo Drift, and because you haven't seen the Fast and Furious, but in Tokyo Drift, they're raiding the house, and that's the song. And Keenan was like, "Why are you listening to this shit?" I go, "Nah, you gotta watch the film, because it's the way the way the song starts. It's because it's all electric guitar. It's like and they're storming into the house."
I know what you mean, man. Because I think where we get a lot of the heavy metal stuff, why we like heavy metal but don't really say or don't really send their conscious. Do you know where we get it from?
Films.
No, man. WWF wrestling, man.
Oh, yo, Hardy.
I mean, if you listen to the soundtrack in wrestling,
Yeah.
there's hardly any hip hop. It's all heavy metal, man.
Yeah, truly.
And we get into it, but we focus on the wrestling. But in the back of our minds, we're hearing the heavy metal.
Yeah.
So when we hear heavy metal, like up front, we don't mind it because we're used to hearing. We're used to the subconscious of heavy metal in wrestling
Truly.
because we love wrestling and action scenes. Like when I think of action scenes, the best soundtracks go in action fight scenes. The one that comes in front of my head is Mortal Kombat. The tin 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 tin. It's like the exercise kind of music. Eh?
I was listening. Because I downloaded some other songs like The Prodigy and The Breathe. I think when that came out on Charlie's Angels, there's that fight scene where the guy's cutting the girl's hair and he sniffs it. Like that's a fight scene. Yeah. Smack my bitch up.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And the kids were like, "Where you listen to this, Dad?" Like, it's from Charlie's Angels. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I remember there's a John Wick fight scene, and they're playing the Thoroughbred song with the violins.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool way. But I was like, imagine if they use this Prodigy song for that, you know? Or like Hey Boy, Hey Girl, like techno songs. Like, bro, these are mean fight scenes.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's wicked.
So, Christopher Nolan, he loves sound in his movies. He does a lot of scores that help build the tension and feeling of the scene.
Yeah,
he's really good at doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, it's an interesting movie. Eh? So, have you seen JFK? Remember the movie JFK?
No.
With Kevin Costner?
It's
Sort of filmed like that way, that sort of style. It's like a documentary kind of style, but not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's freaky, man. It's a freaky movie to think that human beings, like, because I get it, because it was like they were racing against the Nazis, because it was a race to who's gonna build the atomic bomb first, because if the Germans build it, we don't trust them to use it. We don't trust. We probably think, we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna kill everybody. But if the Americans build it first, they know they're gonna blow the Germans up.
Yeah.
So, but Germany lost the war before they finished building the bombs, and then they had a chance. But Japan still carried on with their war, so they used the bomb on Japan.
Yeah.
And Hiroshima. So the movies so we all know the history, but this is just sort of like a movie about how they made it.
Yeah.
And this guy that headed the whole team to make the bomb, and then how bad he felt afterwards when they blew up, when they used it,
good film, eh?
when they used it,
Yeah.
because he felt real guilty.
Yeah.
And I even watched the movie, but it's scary to think that humans can do this kind of, because it's all about like he was like the destroyer of worlds, they called him,
Yeah.
because he invented something that could blow up the whole world.
Yeah, bro. Creations of ending, eh? Because like the only film I can think of where atomic bomb went off, I think it's the Wolverine, eh? And like how that guy's face gets burnt, eh? Because he's protecting the hole. It's like, fuck. I hate to live through one of these, man. Or just you couldn't imagine it, eh? Man, just imagine if atomic bomb went off here. I remember I had a cousin, he's my best man. He was in love with the ideas of the atomic bomb, eh? And like he just read all the Britannia on it, and like he just been on documents of film or just watching it. He goes, bro, we'll talk about war, and he'll be like, oh, hey, what would you have? And I go, I'd have a semi-automatic. It's not, you know what I have? Okay, what? It's just one thing. What? Atomic bomb. Okay, wait. He goes, man, I blew this whole world up Like, what do you mean? Bro, you know what the atomic bomb was, man? And he was like, just tell me. I'm like, bro, you sound a little bit scary, cuz. But he was like, yeah, man, they even.
Well, they predicted it's interesting because, you know, if you think about it, atomic bomb killed all ground wars. Because what's the point of having a war when you just throw the atomic bomb on them and just end everything? What's the point?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like the bomb that will end all wars. That's what they're hoping it will do. Like if you had the bomb, then no one's gonna go to war anymore.
Yeah, fuck, it's just scary, bro.
Yeah.
But you know what they say when they make a film about it, man.
Yeah. There's one part, this probably spoiler alert, probably not. But there's one part when they're like making a list on what cities to bomb in Japan.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like crossing them off. And then their suggestions,
Yeah.
like, you know. And one guy goes, "Oh, so where shall we use the bomb in Japan?" Well, I go, "Oh, we have to use it on the army base, you know." And, yeah, but the army base is too small. You gotta use it on the city, mate. A city with some army stuff in it,
Yeah.
you know. But knowing there's gonna be casualties, like instant, because it's like a whole fucking the radius of the blast.
Yeah, right.
Man, it's not just one little, you know.
Because I've even, I think, I don't know if those images are even true. Because I remember there was some maybe energy drinks or maybe like recovery medicines that they did, and like when they showed the whole faces all red, and then just have, I think it was like strip stools. They did chuck the strip stool into the water of orange, and then it went yellow.
Yeah.
And the image was like the atomic bomb, just one little drop, kill everything.
Yeah.
But like, nah, what the hell? If that's the effect of an atomic bomb, something so small can just heal the body. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, man, my cousin told me what these sort of images were.
But the scene I sort of like felt disturbed was when, you know, that scene when they were trying to figure out what's city in Japan we're gonna hit. They had a little list crossing them off, and then the guy goes, "Oh, nah, I went. Me and my wife went there for holiday. It was a nice place. We just we'll cross that off." Those ones.
Yeah, it is sickening.
Yeah, but amazing. It's part of human history, man, and
Yeah, bro.
just amazing what humans could do, and like no qualms about it. Like I can imagine, man, hundreds of thousands of people died in Japan, and you just think of those innocent people, and just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Like they were talking about, oh, this is gonna end the war. But what about the innocent lives there? Oh man, you know?
Yeah. Man, that's like the Pearl Harbor, hey? It's like, fuck, it's ugly, man. Even like just going to Hawaii and being there, like, damn. It's got a feel about it, eh, their place. They didn't even know that the Arizona is still on the ground with all its people that served on that place. Like, shit. It's an aqua cemetery.
Sweet, man. We got a local here.
Nah, I haven't. I was too busy focusing on that shooter, the gun shooter.
Oh,
So
yeah,
not this week.
Oh, good. Should we go for what's some last words?
Yeah, man. Yeah, just touching on like what Yush was saying about the shooter earlier on, and then him saying like how he had that kid that would, you know, whether that kid would come back and he's like, "What's up, sir?" You know, and I think it's the effects, or maybe the way we get caught up in today's life and how we choose our words. Like, I know I'm not perfect, man. I was trying to teach my daughter how to reverse the cavale the other night, and I could just feel myself go 0 to 100. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was saying every probably silly thing under the sun. But I think one thing that I've learned while podcasting and helping myself get over anxiety, and it's probably something that we can all do and relate to, and that's just taking the time to breathe. I think the most important thing you can give yourself if you can feel yourself getting angry is breathe, man. I think it helps me through anxiety. It's helped me through times where I feel like I might say something harmful or harsh, and it's just taking a breath, you know. It's as simple as going and just laugh, have a bit of a laugh. Because sometimes, man, your words can have a long-lasting effect on people. And I know that maybe my daughter will come at me when I'm probably old and fragile and be, do you remember that when you used to say this to me? And like, you know, I'm not perfect, man. But yeah, to any parent, man, and especially anyone that works with kids, children, they're like sponges, man. So every time you spit fire at them, man, they'll probably, you know, soak that up and end up hearing it. So yeah, my words is just choose your words wisely, man, and just, you know that some words are taken, you know, either way. And like that poor kid who shot up these guys at his workplace, he might not have had the intent to go kill someone, but maybe he was on the other end of bullying. So that's just one way to look at it. But yeah, those are my final words, man. You know what it is.
Sure, man. My final words. I've been reading this book by Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you don't know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is, he's a African American astrophysicist. So he's a scientist. He studies the universe, the stars, and all that kind of stuff. He's got a new book out called Starry Messenger, and the first chapter is pretty cool because he talks about how, you know, on this earth we don't know, but you know, we live with all these problems, and we have shit happen, and you know, shit happens, and we have stress, we have everything, we have politics, you know, we have problems. And then, you know, sometimes we don't see the bigger picture of things. It's always what's in front of us, and it's how we react to those things in front. And sometimes those things don't matter in the long run. He talks about how the astronauts. There's a famous quote with one of the astronauts that went into space. Like, he went into space and they looked back at the Earth and they thought, man, that's a beautiful planet right there. Like, why are we, you know, there's a bigger picture. Why are we thinking about war and thinking about, you know, doing bad to others, doing bad to this Earth? It's so beautiful. You won't get that perspective unless you're out there in space looking back at the Earth. And you think, man, we're all in this is our place. Like, there's nothing more important than just living and helping one another. And why are we fighting? Why are we stressed about stuff that doesn't even matter when you look at how beautiful this earth is? And I thought about it today. I was thinking, man, that's so cool. You know, sometimes we do have to like think about the long run. You know, is it worth it? There's things that we think matter so much that brings us pain and anxiety. Does it really matter in the long run? So, that's my last words.
Nice, Rose. Food for thought, eh?
Food for thought.
Shadows.
That's us, man. Thanks for this episode. It's good to see Yush back again. And Eric couldn't make it because he take his dad to the airport. He's going back to Rarotonga. I think they got the bug, the island bug, and want to go back.
Must be the bug or the insurance claim. Nice, lah.
All right, sweet. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Cheers.